Jake from Jake and Levi. And today we're going to be talking about the science of water parks. Let's get nerdy.
Summer, the season of beach vacations, lemonade stands, ice cream, and scorching heat? Is there a better way to beat the heat than a day at the water park? Well, we didn't think so, and 85 million Americans agreed with us because they visit the 1,300 water parks in the USA every year. There's a lot of science behind the attractions of a water park. When you hop on a water slide, you put physics in the driver's seat, which is exactly what we're talking about. Let's start with gravity.
Oh, for the sake of Peter, sit down before you hurt yourself and make a mockery of my life's work.
Who are you?
Look at the big fluffy hair. Look at how I'm importantly sitting in this uncomfortable chair. I have poofy sleeves. Is it not obvious who I am?
Mozart?
What has become of the education system? Surely you learned about me at university. What are you? A fourth grader?
Actually, I am.
Then allow me to introduce myself, you poor, uneducated miniature human. I am Sir Isaac Newton, physicist extraordinaire. Please hold your applause. No need to bow or curtsy. Also, why are you still here? You do not have big hair or poofy sleeves. Leave this to the expert. Shoo. Let's start with gravity. Gravity is the force that pulls you toward the earth. As the apple fell from the tree because of gravity, it put this permanent split in the middle of my hair.
Hold on a sec, Newton. If you don't notice, all the water slides start high off the ground. The steeper the slide, the faster the wider will go. If the slope is less steep, the rider will go slower. Between these two sides, the riders on the left side should reach the bottom faster than the riders on the right side.
Prior to the unfortunate interruption, I was going to mention that frictions is another important force. Friction is the resistance to motion when one object rubs against another.
Hold up, Newt. You feel friction when you try to push a heavy couch across the floor. Friction is why you scrape your knee when you fall across the driveway. And have you ever slid across a carpet? Youch. You can feel the result of friction when you rub your hands together really fast. Try it. Did your hands warm up? It's the friction producing heat. Water slides try to reduce friction. If you slid across a rough, bumpy surface, it wouldn't be a very fun ride. Not only would you find yourself in the ER afterward, but you wouldn't go very quickly either. How do they reduce friction? The short answer is smooth materials and water. Fluids make objects slide past one another more smoothly. This is why you put oil in a car. Oil helps to reduce the friction between the car's moving parts. Water helps you move smoothly and quickly down a water slide. Now that you know some of the forces, let's go on a field trip.
If I may interject, Sir Jake, I know neither the terms field trip nor water park.
Get ready, Newt. Hang on to that fluffy hair and get ready for a jolly good time. Levi and I headed north to Venture River Park in Eddyville, Kentucky to see the physics in action.
Physics? Oh, splendid. But please don't splash my hair.
Our journey began with this monstrosity called the cliffhanger.
Sir Jake, although I would strongly advise against flinging oneself over the edge of this contraption, given its shape, it seems like a prime opportunity to demonstrate potential and kinetic energy.
Oh, don't worry. I'm not getting on that thing. Levi, start climbing, man.
While he's making his way towards certain death, let me explain potential energy. Potential energy is the stored energy something has because of its position or shape. Something can have potential energy simply because it is raised off the ground.
Kinetic energy is the energy of motion. The faster an object moves, the more kinetic energy it has.
I recall a time when there was no YouTube or motion pictures of any kind. Therefore, because I lack knowledge of more entertaining phenomena, I find kinetic and potential energy incredibly fascinating, in that one type of energy can be converted into the other type.
Right, Isaac Newton. By holding this ball in the air, it has potential energy. But when I drop it, that potential energy is changed into kinetic energy or motion.
Oh, I believe Sir Levi has made it to the top of the torture device. As he plunges toward his untimely demise, his potential energy is converted into kinetic energy.
Then an odd thing happens. As he reaches the height of his swing, all of that kinetic energy is again converted into potential energy.
As he swings back downward, that potential energy again becomes kinetic energy. The two types of energy continuously change from one to another until they come to rest at the bottom. Fascinating. Did I mention they wrote textbooks about me?
Next, we made our way to these two slides, Amonzi Falls and Turboa. I choose life, so Levi, you're up again.
These are truly interesting specimens. The riders are off the ground, so they do possess potential energy. Because one has a steeper slope than the other, that potential energy will more quickly convert to kinetic energy. The rider of the blue slide will fall to the bottom more quickly. Also, I question his judgment.
The Turboa has twists and turns, which gives me a chance to talk about another physics term, inertia. Inertia is the tendency of an object to resist changes in motions. If it's sitting still, it will stay that way. If it's moving, it wants to keep moving in that direction, unless it's acted upon by another force. Let me demonstrate. This is a car. This is a car at rest. It will not move on its own. A force has to interact with it. That's inertia. Here's another example. I'm in a moving car. My body is with the car. It wants to keep moving in this direction at the speed. When the brakes are applied, the truck stops and my body keeps on moving forward until the force of the seatbelt stops me. That is inertia.
You'll see this first fellow on the right plunge to his doom in a very fast manner. Then you will see Sir Levi in a much slower manner experience inertia as his body encounters changes in direction.
Good job, Levi. Can you go again and maybe film it this time?
Do you experience pleasure in torturing this child?
No way, he likes it. Next, we made our way to Walupas. Levi! At the top of the slide, like all the others, what type of energy does Levi have? Anyone? If you guessed potential, then you are correct.
As he zooms to the bottom just as before, the potential energy is converted into kinetic energy.
All these energy conversions were exhausting, so we decided to take a break for some Dippin' Dots. Levi had earned it. After stuffing ourselves with ice cream, we headed to the wave pool. How does this work?
This must be some form or sorcery.
Not quite, Newt. Smaller water parks usually use air pumps. Blasts of air create waves. Most air pumps can produce waves between 2 and 4 feet high.
Sir Jake, perhaps you should take this opportunity to discuss the parts of a wave. Also, do not refer to me as Newt.
Good idea. The top of the wave is called a crest. The bottom is called a trough. The distance between two crests and two troughs is called wavelength. As the crest of the wave begins to topple over, this is called a breaker. Who knew simple ocean waves were so complicated? In this video, you can see the waves start to break. After quite a bit of time in the wave pool, we wrapped up our field trip.
Sir Jake, I misjudged your knowledge, as well as the bravery of Sir Levi. I would like to participate, at some point in time, in another of your so-called field trips. It has been a pleasure, sir, but I must bid you good day.
Thanks for joining us. I hope you learned something about the kinds of energy conversions that happen at a water park. Thanks to our guest host, Levi, and our special guest, Sir Isaac Newton. Until next time, stay nerdy.
And you remain firm in the nerdiness as well, my good sir. Do be a good chap and roll the outro.
Hey, that's